Panthers, Tech Squad here. We're going to take a tour of the AIM Students Presidential Museum. First, we're going to be entering the 2nd and 3rd grader Presidential Museum. Luke Linneman, can you tell us a little bit about your president?
Yes, I am Franklin D. Roosevelt, and I served in the war of Allied power versus Axis power. I was on Allied power's team, and we won. That's why I made this flag.
You must have done a lot of research on that.
Hi, Karsten. Tell me a little bit about George Washington.
George Washington was the first president of the United States. And my favorite artifact for him is the cherry tree. The myth of the cherry tree, of him cutting down his father's cherry tree.
So Andy, can you tell me more about your president?
Jimmy Carter was my president. My favorite artifact about Jimmy Carter was the Olympic symbol, because Jimmy Carter had the U.S. boycott in the 1980 Summer Olympics.
That is great.
Hi Lauren, can you tell me something about JFK?
John F. Kennedy won a Pulitzer Prize, and he's the 35th president. The Pulitzer Prize is my favorite artifact about John F. Kennedy.
That's awesome.
Hi, Karis. Can you tell me about President George Bush?
He was the 31st president of the United States, and my favorite artifact about him is he was most famous for being president during the Gulf War.
That sounds super interesting.
Hey Cooper, can you tell me a little bit about your president?
My president is Ulysses S. Grant. And my favorite artifact is this officer hat, because he was a general in the American Civil War.
Well, I didn't know that. So Joshy, what can you tell me about your president?
His name is John Quincy Adams, and he was a lawyer in Boston. That's why I made this gavel.
That sounds interesting. And now we're going to take a tour of the 4th and 5th grade Presidential Museum. Hey Kate, can you tell me about your president?
Sure. I have George Washington, and of course, I hope everyone knows that he was the first president of our country. Some people call him the founder of our country. One of my favorite artifacts is Virginia, because that's the state that he was born in. And there's this little piece in Virginia that has right where he was born.
That's very interesting. Hey Mason, what can you tell me about your president?
My president was Ronald Reagan, and he is the 40th president. One of my favorite artifacts is the Berlin Wall, and Reagan said, "Tear down this wall."
That's really cool. Tristan, tell me about your president.
My president was Thomas Jefferson, and he was the 3rd president. And my favorite made was the hammer. He was an architect, and he designed his own house.
It's pretty cool.
Hi Cindy, can you tell me something about your president?
Yes, my president was George W. Bush, and he was the 43rd president. And my favorite artifact is this baseball, because he was the owner of the Texas Rangers baseball team.
That's really cool.
Hey Chandler, tell me about your president.
My president was Theodore Roosevelt, and he was the 26th president. My favorite artifact that I made was the Nobel Peace Prize. Theodore won the 1905 Nobel Peace Prize for his efforts in negotiating peace between Russia and Japan.
Cool. Hey Dylan, can you tell me a little bit about your president?
Yes. Franklin Delano Roosevelt was the 32nd president, and one of my significant artifacts was this cannon, because he was president during World War II, and they used cannons.
That's very interesting.
Hi Chris, can you tell me a little about your president?
Yes. John F. Kennedy was the 35th president, and one of my significant maids was this pig. It was the Bay of Pigs incident.
That's really cool.
Hi, Barbara. Can you tell me a little bit about Abraham Lincoln?
Abraham Lincoln was the 16th president, and one of the significant facts I have is this one-room log cabin. He grew up in one, and he did his homework and all of his chores in it.
That's pretty cool.
Hi, Amelia. Can you tell me something about your president?
My president was Jimmy Carter, and he was the 39th president. I made this Siamese cat because he had a Siamese cat for one of his pets.
That's really cool.
Hey Shane, tell me about your president.
My president was George H. Bush. He was the 41st president of the United States. This is my favorite artifact, a chalkboard. Because he was a president at Yale a professor at Yale for a short time.
Cool. And this concludes our tour of the AIM Museum.